The price of Bitcoin is $59,190. It keeps pumping and it's looking very bullish right now. There are a couple of things we need to be keeping an eye on, like the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, because there is a large amount of liquidity building up here that could be potentially a magnet for the price of Bitcoin once we pop through that $60,000 level, causing mass liquidations. Because currently, if we check on Bybit and check on PHEMEX in a second, the funding rate on Bybit is 0.0598 and the funding rate on PHEMEX right now for Bitcoin is 0.049. The funding rates are very high. That generally means that a change in direction would be expected. However, it can also be understood as a very bullish thing, because nobody wants to short Bitcoin because of what is going on with the stock market and their ETF buying of Bitcoin. And I can show you the stock market inflows for Bitcoin right now. These are the Bitcoin ETF inflows versus outflows. The green bar on the bottom there, that's the amount of Bitcoin being sold off by stock investors. And the blue bars and green bars on the top here, that's the amount of Bitcoin being bought. One of the trends that we can see here is actually less Bitcoin is being bought by investors right now, although very, very small amounts are being sold. So although ETF inflows are smaller than what they were, there is still a lot of money going into the crypto space, with around $500 million being purchased in the past 24 hours by spot Bitcoin ETF funds. When it comes to what we can expect from the price of Bitcoin in the next 24 hours, I'm going to explain that to you in today's video. And we're also going to look at a longer term perspective on what can happen here. We are going to be trading the price of Bitcoin today, and if you are interested in that, slap a like on this video, join the community by subscribing to the channel. I'm back, I'm bullish, let's crack on. So first things first, $59,209. $59,196. It's always moving. If we look at the 5-minute chart here for Bitcoin, you can see that we just continually rally to the upside. Again, what I pointed out at the start of today's video is this right here, the Bitcoin liquidation heat map. And if we go over to the symbol section here and we go into the 24-hour chart, so we can really get a good perspective over what is happening right now. To be honest, let's go down to the 12-hour, give us a little bit more of a macro perspective here. You can see that there is a lot of liquidations down here just below $57,000, and there is a lot of liquidation up here just around $60,000. It is my expectation that today we do cross $60,000, but I wouldn't want to write off a big old drop to the downside after that point. I'd like to point out that I am still long on the price of Ethereum, like you can see down here, $18,000 profit. That's looking quite nice, and that's over on PHEMEX. By the way, if you are interested in trading, check out PHEMEX. You'll find a link for it in today's video description. And if you use that link, you get up to $8,800 for free. The reason I say use PHEMEX these days is because Bybit has kicked out all of their European users basically at this point. If you're in France, Netherlands, Germany, the UK, you can't use Bybit anymore. So you need a new exchange. There's no KYC on PHEMEX. It's been around for a very, very long period of time now. In fact, one of the founders, or the main founder, or the only founder of PHEMEX is also one of the founders of Bybit. So it's a very similar exchange, but there's no KYC, no deposit withdrawal restrictions, that kind of stuff. Anyway, Bitcoin looking quite bullish, $59,238. If we look here at the, well, let's go down over to the 1-hour chart right now. No, to be honest, let's go over to the long term, because we've been pumping up so much recently. It's important to get a bit of long-term perspective over what's happening right now. Something else that is quite interesting is if you look at Bitcoin versus euros, it's actually nearly at all-time highs. The all-time high for Bitcoin here is $68,000, but the euro all-time high is actually much lower than that because the exchange rate was getting buggered at this point in time. The actual all-time high in euros is about 54,000 euros, and currently it's 52,000 euros per Bitcoin. When it comes to what we can expect here, yes, a cool-off is going to happen at some stage. We will likely just do what we did up here, where we consolidate and go sideways. It would be weird if we didn't have some kind of drop-off at some point in time, but at the same time, I've stopped betting on that. I'm not betting on a drop-off. I'm just going to be longing until we get to $60,000. I'll be taking some profit at $60,000, and then maybe we get a retrace, maybe we don't. But for me right now, the big play is in the altcoin market. So for when it comes to predicting what is going on with the altcoin market, we need to be looking at this chart right here. That is the Ethereum versus Bitcoin chart. And again, you can see it's been struggling a little bit recently. If we measure down here, how much value has it dropped? It's dropped about 7% against the value of Bitcoin in the past 2 days. That's a pretty significant drop off in the value of Ethereum versus Bitcoin, but ultimately all it means is it's more upside for us when the price of Ethereum does start coming back to us. And if we look at the daily chart here, we can't be that far away right now from a pump. Like, this indicator here is saying that it's not great at the Ethereum versus Bitcoin chart. You can see it calls this pump here, it calls it here, and it's not really the best trade. It doesn't really get it here. It's much better at USD pairs than it is Bitcoin pairs, to be honest, is this indicator. So we'll just ignore that for now, and we'll go back over to the Ethereum USD chart, where currently it is still recommending that we're in a long position. You can see the accuracy here of this indicator. Catches this entire pump, catches this entire pump, catches this pump here, catches this short position here. This indicator is pretty much perfect when it comes to these US dollar pairs, and I can't wait for you guys to get access to it as well. But when it comes to Ethereum, that's what we're looking at. We want the Ethereum to start pumping because then the altcoin market will start pumping. And currently, I'm long on Solana. The price of Solana is $113.57, and I am long right now on Solana. If I show you my Solana long position here, currently $243,000 long on Solana, $7,000 in a profit. I've also got a ridiculous trade here on Bitcoin, but that's just to pass the time of day. Currently $1,000 in a profit. Took a small profit earlier of $52 just to cover any fees that I'd paid in the trade. I'm also long on Dogecoin right now, but the big trade for me is going to be Solana. I'm going to try and scale up this trade because actually, from my perspective, Solana has been suppressed in terms of its recent price. If we remove the indicator from the screen here so you can see it a little bit more accurately, I actually think that Solana is forming what's known as a cup and handle formation, where you've got your cup here and your handle going outwards here. You break to the upside of the handle, which we have already done at this point in time, which is why I took the trade, because I saw that we were breaking out here around 111. So I took the trade around 111. We're now 113. And I actually think that Solana in the coming days is going to go up to around $130. From that perspective, because I'm long on Solana, I'm going to take them profits from Solana at some point in time, and then I'm going to invest them into something. There's a lot of different things that you could be investing into right now. One of the things that I would recommend you check out is this here that is launching on Bybit in the next 24 hours. This is Beoble. Beoble is going to be available on Bybit Launchpad, and it'll probably do very, very well. What is Beoble? It is the chat solution for Web3 people, very similar to Friend Tech or XCAD, but it should do very, very well given the current market conditions. I'm quite excited for it, and I'd recommend you check that out. I'll leave a link for Bybit Launchpad thing in today's video description. Other than that, I also wanted to point out, never forget, because I was getting a lot of hate back in the day when I was saying that Bitcoin had bottomed, and this tweet is from when Bitcoin was $15,600, and I had big people on Twitter coming after me. 4,200 idiots liked this tweet because they said that I was an idiot, and I wasn't. I was right, and we managed to buy the dip very significantly, and for that we get some very nice rewards in the form of profit right now. However, other than Solana, what are the trades are we that we can take? I'm looking at Chainlink right now on the 1 hour chart, and I noticed that it just keeps on dropping to the downside. And actually here, the indicator caught it very well. It's caught the short position going down here. However, I'm going to ignore the indicator again on this chart because I've not done any back testing on it. However, it doesn't seem like it's it's not the world's most accurate. Again, look at the Bitcoin pairing. It's just not understanding it for these. Again, more tweaks required on Bitcoin pairs for the indicator. It's much better at US dollar pairs. Anyway, Chainlink, as you can see here, the Bitcoin value, it's dropped down pretty significantly. In fact, from the highs most recently, because it did have a big pump up in price, it is down 28% in 23 days. That is a very, very significant drop off in price. And it's something that I don't want to ignore. I think that actually Chainlink is going to be very, very bullish soon, because if we look at the price for Chainlink, it's kind of doing similar things to what Solana is doing. It's not quite cup and handling, more so there's a couple of different ways that you could chart this. You could chart this as a head and shoulders top pattern, something like that. That would be a bearish pattern, but I don't feel bearish on this at all, especially given the state of the market right now. I actually think a lot of these altcoin pairs that you can see on the screen here, Sandbox, IOTX, Polkadot especially, to be honest, $8.55, keeps rallying to the upside. From my perspective right now, Polkadot is looking very, very bullish. You look at this chart here, a long-term zoom out, like there's a huge gap here. There's just needs some liquidity filling. So my projection on Polkadot is to go to at least $30 in the coming months. Sandbox again, look at the price of this. It is absolutely in the toilet, but it's potentially going to pump up very significantly very soon. I'm going to be posting a very large video series to my main channel, That Martini Guy. Make sure you are subscribed. You'll find a link for it in today's video description. I'm going to post a very large video series very soon about all of the best altcoins that you can hold in your portfolio. We're going to make a lot of money off altcoins in the next 12 months. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you slap a like on this video so I show up in your algorithm. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Again, it's important because then I'll show up in your video algorithm and it also supports my videos and gets them pushed out to more people. And thank you very much for watching today's video. I hope you're bullish. I hope we make a lot of money. Check out PHEMEX. Have a great day. See you in the next video. Goodbye.